This is First GenXers.
Poetic beat, poetic beat, poetic beat.
Welcome to the classroom. Class is officially in session. Good evening, y'all, and welcome to this week's edition of the classroom. Normally, I would be joined here by the one and only OMalley, but unfortunately, this week she's having some issues and is not able to make it. So it's just me. Probably gonna be a short episode, but we're gonna run through some things tonight, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions on them. First thing we're gonna run into the NBA Finals. That's right. Eastern Conference, or not NBA Finals, but the NBA Eastern and Western Conference Finals, with the Knicks and the Pacers facing off in the East, and the Thunder and the Wolves facing off in the West. Could have been the Thunder and the Warriors, but unfortunately, I won't say because of Steph Curry's injury, but partially due to Steph Curry's injury, the Thunder will not. Or not Thunder, but the Warriors will not be playing the Thunder, and with an opportunity to make it to the finals. So maybe next year, we'll see what happens. Jimmy Butler's around for a couple of years. So first up, we're going to start in the Eastern Conference with the Indiana Pacers up 2-0 and currently playing live right now the I want to say the New York Knicks. The Pacers came out the gate in both games, and I believe it was in New York. Took them both with late rallies, kind of like what the Knicks did, coming against Celtics, coming back from like down 10-15 to win by 5 in the second game and to win by 3 in the first game. So we've had some very, very, very tight things. You got Halliburton averaging 16, 5, and 8, and Brunson averaging 31 and 5. And both men are making their teams look like straight up contenders. Looks like teams that a team that could win the whatchamacallit. And I guess that kind of makes this particular question here a little bit moot, but are the Knicks now favorites out of the East after they beat the Celtics? It's supposed to be something we talked about last week, but I would say no now, but you never know. The Knicks could win tonight, kind of like how the Nuggets, or not Nuggets, but the Wolves did. The Knicks could blow them out tonight and end up getting the victory and making it a 2-1 series. And we all know 2-1 is definitely different from 3-0. 3-0, but the team that's up is still in control. But let's talk a little bit about the Knicks in this run that they've been on with Brunson and Cat, and being a different team that is so damn deep that they were able to take advantage and out hustle the current defending NBA champion, the Boston Celtics. Well, it'll be another different champion, and we'll get to that later on in the show. But it'll be an eighth different champion in 8 consecutive years for the NBA. Parity is starting to take over, but it's not quite there yet. And I'll explain to you why a little bit later on. But with these Pacers coming in hot, they could. I believe the Pacers made the conference finals last year and lost to the Celtics. So the Pacers have shown over the last couple of years that they're a worthy team and that the East is definitely a battle. The Cavs were the number 1 seed. They won like 65 games. Then you had the 2 seed Celtics, and you had, what else is it? You had 2 seed Celtics, and then you had the it was the 6 seed or the 4 seed Pacers and the 3 seed Knicks are the ones that made it to the conference championships. So out of the top 4 teams, the 2 teams that were 3rd and 4th are the ones that ended up coming in and playing to see who's going to go to the finals. And either the Knicks or the Pacers, whichever one. I want to say the Knicks, it's been since like 1980 since the last time they went to a finals. And the Pacers, God, yeah, I want to say since the 80s, 90s. So both teams, it's been like 30, 40 years since the last time they were in a NBA finals. So it'll be special for either one. And that's what makes this year's conference finals and NBA finals so special with these Final Four. I want to get to also Miles Turner. He's a cat that is playing for Indiana right now. That is another huge reason, his low post game. He was a cat that I wanted the Warriors to pick up a while ago because his low post game is off the hook. He can't shoot a 3 necessarily as well as some of the other bigs, like say Quentin Post, somebody like that. But he's a great low post guy. He reminds me a lot of Andrew Bogut, like great rim protector. Mitchell Robinson type, not really going to score, might score 25 for you on a night, but most likely isn't, especially getting against a guy like Cat. But in general, I think that the Knicks could still make this a series. Let's check in and see where they're at right now. All right, the Pacers are currently up, so we could be seeing them go up 3-1. Before the night's out, which would be like, wow, that would definitely be a steep hill to climb for them New York Knicks to get back into the NBA finals. But with a young team like Brunson, who I think is like barely like 27, 28, maybe 26, and then Cat, who's like 27, 28, like they're a young squad. OG Anunoby, none of these guys are old. Dante DiVincenzo with Minnesota, he used to be with the Knicks, sorry. But they all are very, very young. So the Knicks could be back in the conference finals, if not the finals soon, even if they don't get past the Pacers this year. Now, the other conference final, like I said, the second round saw the Thunder over the Nuggets. The Thunder over the Nuggets 4-3 in a 7-game series, in which the Thunder didn't really take control until late. And then the T-Wolves and the Warriors, which was the 6-7 seed, which the T-Wolves won 6-1. Once Steph went down and he wasn't going to be coming back by like game 3, game 4. Unfortunately, the Warriors just did not have enough to beat them. So we then moved on to the Wolves and OKC. And OKC came out in the first 2 games and made it seem like they was just about to run. Kind of like what the Pacers did over in the East. They came out and made it seem like they was running away with this one. But last game yesterday in Minnesota showed we're still alive. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. You can go on ahead and sorry, there we go. And you can go on ahead and forget that. Because when it comes down to it, Ant-Man, who's averaging 26 a game for this, I believe the playoffs, is not one that is going to go down quietly. He proved that in the Lakers series and in the Warriors series. But 26, 9, and 5 is just, that's beasting out. If they make it to the finals and they win, this kid should win finals MVP if he continues to play like this. But that's a big if. They won one game by 30 something, by 42 points. But that may be the only win they get. The Thunder are a deep team. No matter how you cut it, no matter what you do with it, the Thunder are a deep team. And they will bench you to death. You know, and it's guys like Hartenstein, what's his name? I forget the young guy that they had. Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, of course, SGA, the MVP this year. Like all of that talent on one team is like it's unfair to an extent. It's unfair to the rest of the league. I really don't care what anybody says. It truly is, because at this rate, who's gonna stop the Thunder? Well, that question may be answered in the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are a great team. With Julius Randle playing out of his mind. We saw that in the Western Conference semis against the Warriors. They just could not miss a goddamn three for the life of me. Oh man, it was pissing me off watching that. And they went on ahead and added guys like Dante DiVincenzo, etc., so that you could so that they could defend and be able to shoot well coming into this season. Look at how far it's carried them. Like I said, they beat a Lakers team that a lot of people didn't think they had a chance against with Luka and LeBron. They beat, unfortunately, it was Steph Curryless, but no excuses. They beat the Warriors. They beat Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and the Warriors. And this was a tougher hill to climb than anything that they've been down. I'll be honest with that. I'll answer the question at the bottom of the screen first. Are they title contenders? Hell yeah. You don't make it to you have to be. If you're one of the final four teams in the league to be playing basketball, at the time, then there's no way that you cannot be considered a title contender. They have all the things that they need to be able to go win a title. I think a Timberwolves Pacers final would be extremely interesting. Almost as interesting as a Knicks Thunder, but I think we might get Pacers Thunder, and those two teams are built so similarly. It's not even fun. Like Indiana is like 2 years behind or 2 years ahead of where the Thunder are. And that's scary considering the Thunder just won 60 games this year. The Pacers didn't. But as far as talent, like they're very similar built teams. So I think that any one of those combination of four, any combination of those four is going to make for an interesting finals. But the conference finals so far, if I had to give a prediction so far, 3 games into each, I would say Thunder Pacers, and I'm going to stick with that as my prediction, with the Thunder coming out on top. I just think it's their year. I genuinely do. I think even if the Warriors went up against them right now, I think with the way their Thunder are playing, with the way SGA is getting calls, no, he's not a free throw merchant. I'll throw my opinion out there on that one right now. He is one of the best players in the NBA right now, period. If you don't like it, get over it, because SGA is that dude right now. He's the next guy. If anything, I think if you're going to ask who is the next face of the league, I think SGA would be a good choice. Just a great kid in general. And yeah. So, all right. So after the break, I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk a little NBA offseason, kind of talk what's next for the Warriors. And then we'll get into a little bit of NBA draft as well. And yeah, thank you for watching me running solo tonight. Unfortunately, OMalley is out with injury. And I hope she gets better really soon and can join us next week. But this is The Classroom, brought to you by First GenXers Broadcast Network, right here on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching us. I'm Dark Lord 100, aka Double K, and we'll head to the break. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfo. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what, we about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely.
up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
All right, we are back. So, as promised, we're going to talk a little bit about the Golden State Warriors. Okay, let's see. Bam, there we go. What is in the future for the Warriors? That we do not know. We know that Draymond is going to be back. We know that Jimmy Butler is going to be back. We know that Steph's going to be back, of course. We do not know if Jonathan Kuminga is going to be back. He's one of those key pieces that I would love to see come back from this season. We do not know if I believe Moses Moody's already been locked up. Braden Pomiski has already been locked up. We know Quentin Post will be back. He was on a rookie contract. Trace Jackson Davis as well. But the Warriors have also said that they will be seeking. Mike Dunleavy has said he will be seeking to improve. And at Steve Kerr's request, he will be seeking to improve the center position for the Warriors. Which was a big weakness for them in the playoffs this year. No offense to Draymond, he played his ass off as always, because that man's got heart beyond heart beyond heart. But it just wasn't enough this year, and we could have used. Now I'm gonna say, like, I can see the need to go out and find a veteran center. I was just talking to Swab about this a couple of days ago. I can see the need to go out and get a veteran center for that squad, because if you can go out and get a veteran center, you have somebody that can help you kind of win now. But I also don't see what would be the harm in allowing Quentin Post to grow. He's 7-footer. The guy can stroke threes. I believe he hit him at like almost 40% clip this season. He contributed some good minutes in the playoffs. I could see him contributing more next year. And Guy Santos, little ball of energy running around, grabbing rebounds, handling business. Like, I think both of them could be used. McGee's not that big. Pat Spencer was another one too, but we're talking about centers right now. But Post and Quentin and Jackson Davis could make a viable combo if you cannot find a a veteran center. Maybe there's some stuff I don't know about Trace Jackson Davis, which is why he didn't receive a lot of play time till way later when we really needed another big guy. But he's a like 6'10, 6'11, almost 7-footer. So he's another big guy that we can throw in the middle. And then just get us another body. Like, get us a Jaja Pachulia type guy. He doesn't even have to start. Like, Jackson Davis can start and he can come off the bench when we need big body minutes, and then Post can come off when we need stretch 4 minutes. Give Kerr a 3-man rotation of centers. Because even back in the days when the Warriors were winning the championship, they had Andrew Bogut, stalwart at center, and then Jaja Pachulia for a few of those years. But they also had guys like David West who could rotate into the center position and stuff like that. So, like, and Kevin Looney's still a good center. Like that's the whole thing about it. Maybe they're thinking about moving Jackson Davis and keeping Looney, and then Looney and Post along with the veteran. But I don't see a reason to get rid of Looney. Like, the guy's been a beast for us for years. He actually came into the league as a small forward and eventually transitioned to the center position for us. It took him a couple of years, but he got there. Ended up being a critical piece to a couple of championships. So I could definitely see him manning that center position and them finding somebody else that can come in off the bench and back him up, or vice versa, where Looney can come in off the bench like he did this year, and the Warriors find themselves a starting center, let Looney and Post come off the bench, maybe trade Jackson Davis in the process. But we shall see. Sorry, the daughter's behind me. We shall see what they choose to do with it. But for right now, I think the Warriors, at least next couple of years, look bright with Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. And if you can plug in a serviceable center, it doesn't need to be Joel Embiid or Giannis. It just needs to be somebody that can help and that can rim protect for them. So that, speaking of Giannis, that'll bring me to my next subject, which is Giannis. The word around town is that Giannis is open to leaving the Bucks or forcing a trade out of Milwaukee. I think this would be a wise idea for him. I don't think he's going to win any more than the one championship that he did in Milwaukee. We'll see, but I just don't see, like, even with Dame, like right now, like, he wants to go somewhere where he's going to win within the next couple of years. That ain't it. Like Milwaukee ain't it. Like, but we'll see. We'll see. I think they're in close to blow up mode and rebuild mode, and we'll see how quickly they get there. But for right now, yeah, if Giannis wants out, Golden State, San Francisco's won. I heard they catered to him during this year's All-Star break I was watching on ESPN, but I think, or not ESPN, but on a clip on Facebook. But I think that they should be able to if they were able to lure him. But then you ask, how would he fit with Jimmy? If we kept Jimmy, if we're not going to keep Jimmy, why would we move Jimmy? Yeah, I get it. It's an upgrade to Giannis, but what we have with Jimmy is working. So unless you're going to give up like Kuminga, and who's pretty much ready to start right now, and maybe I don't want to give up Pods. Like, no matter what, I don't. Maybe Kuminga, Moody, they both came in the same draft class. Gives you a 1-2 punch besides Dame Lillard with an athletic Kuminga and Moody, and then a couple of first-round picks. For Giannis, that would be the only way I would do it. Like, but if you're talking about giving up one of those three, Jimmy, Draymond, or Steph, nah, I'm good. I like what they pulled off this year, and I think they could do better if they just had a center that could clog up the lane. So, but where Giannis could fall, there's talk of Miami, there's talk of Chicago, there's talk of Oklahoma City, which would be scary. Could you imagine SGA paired with Giannis and Chet Holmgren? But they probably have to give up like a Holmgren or somebody like that to get him. But still, that young core that they have over there, and you throw Giannis into that, and they're already competing for titles and winning 60 games, that would be like adding KD to that homegrown Warriors team that made it unfair for the NBA for 3 or 4 years. Like, man, I'm telling you, like Giannis added to a lot to that Thunder team would be amazing. I don't really see him going to the Celtics unless they break everything up. Which Kristaps Porzingis, hey, bro, if you want some place to go, San Francisco, bro. But I know you still want 30-40 million a year and they ain't paying you. But there's not really many places I can see Giannis going. Staying in Milwaukee isn't the best idea for him, but it may be the best for this year and see how things kind of play out. But all right. So next up, the subject matter is going to be the 2025 NBA draft. All right. As you can see, we've got the full draft order now. Golden State, unfortunately, has 0 picks in the first round. So first, let's drop this out. You got the Mavericks picking first, the Spurs picking second, which is beyond me. I want to say this is like their third top 10 pick in the past 3-4 years. And yeah, they've kind of lived up to the expectations as far as hey, what's up, Poe Politicking? What's good? What's good? Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you, brother. Well, I'll say, but I think with those two, like, I won't say it's rigged. I'll just say this: it's quite funny that the Dallas Mavericks ended up, of all teams, they give up Luka to the Lakers and they end up with the first pick. Like, this happened to somebody else. They lost LeBron James in free agency to the Heat, and conveniently, like the next year, I want to say the next 2 years, the Cavs got the number 1 pick because I believe they took Kyrie Irving 1 year and then they took Andrew Wiggins the next year or a couple of years later. Like, ended up with 2 first-round draft, 2 number 1 picks in like 4 years. Like, so it's quite the kerfuffle over there over whether or not the Mavericks deserved it. But all said and done, the Mavericks have the top pick. Spurs have number 2. 76ers have number 3. Hornets have number 4. Jazz 5. Like I said, the Warriors have no picks. And you got the Spurs have 2 in the top. Dang. The Spurs have 2 picks in the lottery this year, number 14 and number 2. And it looks like Oklahoma City has 2 in the bottom half. So those 2 teams are only going to get better and even more scary as we continue to move forward. Like, but everybody's asking at this point, nobody's asking actually anymore, where does Cooper Flag fit in? I like the kid. He's what, like, I'm trying to think, see what his name is or what his size is. They don't have his, whatchamacallit. Duke 4, Cooper Flag, and Rutgers guard system. Okay, 1-2 punch for number 1 and number 2. All right. Sorry, I was looking at a consensus mock draft, but let's go combine. No, I want to go combine. Here we go. Lottery. No, that's draft. Where are the kids at? That's what I want to know. Not the combine. All right, well, looks like we won't be able to find that size on Cooper Flag, but pretty sure he had a pretty decent combine this year, so he's definitely going to go number 1. I think he'll fit well. Like he's a very like SGA type guard. Like, he's not as good as SGA, not yet at least, but he's a very SGA type guard. So in general, like, I could see Cooper Flag fitting in Dallas. Unfortunately, I think Dallas signed Clay to a 4-year deal. So Clay may end up moving over to the 3, or Clay may end up being moved, because if Cooper Flag is as good as they think he is, he's like Clay but younger, but he's not a 3-and-D guy. Like, his defense is nowhere near Clay, so maybe that's why you play them both. You start Clay, let Flag come off the bench. You got Kyrie Irving starting at the point, and that combination of Gafford, Lively Jr. and Anthony Davis. It's going to be tough to stop next year. Do not expect Dallas to wind up in the play-in next year. Expect them to be top 6 in the West. And the other question that I would have to ask about this draft is, will he live up to the Duke hype? when guys come out of Duke, we all know that the expectation is that they're going to be star players. We saw it with Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. No, Anthony Davis was a Kentucky guy. Sorry, Zion Williamson, who some are considering a bust, but I don't really consider him a bust. Injury, well, yeah. I don't know. I've always had a thing about calling a guy who just had an injury-riddled career and could never live up to his potential a bust. But by the technical means of not living up to his potential, you can call him a bust. Will Flagg be a bust, a Duke bust, or will he be one of the ones that lives up to the hype like Kyrie Irving and ends up being a multiple-time champion and playing for multiple different teams? Guys like J.J. Redick, who was a Duke guy, Jay Williams. Like they went on to have they weren't superstars, but they went on to have amazing NBA careers. I think that Cooper Flagg is going to have an NBA. I don't know if he's going to be the face of the league. I don't really get that vibe from him. But I think the kid could 100% end up being like one of those people like Ja Morant, or not Ja Morant, that's a bad example. But SGA, one of those young cats that Wemby that we look at, and Stephen Castle that just won Rookie of the Year. Guys like that we look at and say, all right, he contributes, he's solid, and he could lead, but he's going to need pieces around him. Like basically the Warriors said with Steph. Steph could lead us, but he was going to need pieces around him. That brings me to my final subject on the NBA draft this year, which is the Warriors only have one pick this year. Second round, 41st pick. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they seem to find gems in the second round. Like maybe it gets packaged up and they have no picks. Maybe they send it somewhere to trade for a center, like trade away Kuminga and somebody else for a center or something like that. But I think that we will see what Mike Dunleavy can work as far as magic, as far as the offseason and signing a free agent, as well as bringing us a player through the draft that can contribute. Because like I said, remember both Trayce Jackson-Davis and whatchamacallit, Quentin Post are both late second round picks, like 55 and 52. All right, here we go. Cooper Flagg, he is small forward, power forward out of Duke. He's 6'7", 221 with a 7-foot wingspan. I like those numbers. So as a small forward, okay, so Flagg could play the 3 with Clay playing the 2. Actually, that's not bad. You got Kyrie Irving, who's like 6'4", 6'3", somewhere around there. Then you got Clay, who's like 6'6", 6'7", and then you got Flagg at the 3 at 6'7", and then you got Gifford or Davis at the 4, and either Gifford or Lively at the center. Like I said, watch out for Dallas. They ain't going to be down for long. Remember, a lot of the reason why Dallas wasn't competing for a number 6 seed this year is because they were down like multiple people, and then Kyrie went out for the season, and Anthony Davis was in and out. So I expect to see them do some damage. But the Warriors, on the other hand, like I said, I can't even begin to tell you what the possibilities is. I'm trying to see if this ESPN draft here actually covers the second round too. It does. Let's see. It has the Warriors taking Hassan Yang, a center out of Qingdao in China. The next Yao Ming, this is a pick that they have via Miami, by the way. All right. We can see that. I can see that. This kid looks pretty nice. We'll see what the Warriors do with it. But that's it for right now. We have one more segment coming up for you as we begin to close out the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And after we hit the classroom, we will Double K's classroom. We will go on ahead and ring the bell. So next up is All right. I am the sports guy. I am Double K, and this is my classroom. Now, check this out. Earlier today, or just right before I came on air, I watched a little segment with Mike Greenwald from that I had seen on Get Up a couple of Mike Greenberg, sorry. I'd seen on Get Up on ESPN a few days back, where Mike talks about the death of the super team, that the super team is dead. I am going to sit here and I'm going to look you square in your eye and I'm going to tell you, I almost 100% disagree. It's not that the super team is dead. It's how the super team is built is going to change. And I think that directly has to do with the run of the 2015 to 2020 Golden State, or 2015 to 2019 Golden State Warriors. And they were a team that was built from through the draft, drafting Steph, drafting Clay, drafting Draymond, putting putting veteran pieces around them, and bringing in players who could help them grow and complement them as players. And I think that allowed us to allow the Warriors to not have to spend much money to be as good as some of the top teams in the league. And I think that's the route we're going, because there's a lot of people now looking back that want to call the Warriors Steph, Clay, Draymond a super team. Because now we look back, we see the elite defender that Draymond is. We see the elite defender and scorer that Klay Thompson was. And we see Steph Curry and what he is. And we say, oh, my God, that was completely unfair that all three of them were on the same team. That's a super team. I don't believe you can look back in retrospect and call something a super team. I think that in the moment, it was organic. It grew. They all grew together to be three stars in the league. Steph grew to be a superstar. And I think it worked. And I think we're seeing that model followed right now in Indiana and in Oklahoma City in their recent success. Both homegrown teams with young players that are growing into their own and becoming studs of players to where they can either be shipped off. And Oklahoma City is even sitting in a more advantageous space than the Warriors were, as Oklahoma City has like all these draft picks. Like they have 2 or 3 draft picks every draft for the next 2-3 years. So they can continue adding players there. Look at the Spurs. They're doing the same thing. They went out and got De'Aaron Fox. He's not old. Like I want to say he's only like 26. They went out and got De'Aaron Fox to run the point. They had Chris Paul come there for a season to help them learn how to stabilize the offense. You got Wemby, who was injured last year, but will be back again next year. You also have now Stephen Castle. Then they have 2 picks in the top 14 this year. So they can still add 2 more like potential all-star level players. Will that Spurs team be a super team immediately? No. Because at least a third to three-quarter, or pretty much 90% of their lineup outside of De'Aaron Fox, their starting lineup, will be under the age of 25 and will have only been in the league for 2, maybe 3 years. But once all of those cats start reaching their peak around the same time, if San Antonio holds on to them all, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the level of the Warriors with KD. Mark my words right now. If whoever the Spurs drafted number 2 and number 14 years pan out to equal up to their draft position in the lottery, I believe that the San Antonio Spurs will be competing to run the league along with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because you got to figure teams like Denver, teams like Golden State, they're going to have dips. We're going to have dips coming up soon. They're coming off of their peak and they're coming down, so they're going to have some dips soon. And that's going to allow these young stud teams to come up. But if you want to look at that squad in Oklahoma City, you can't tell me that by the standards that everybody's trying to set for super teams now, just because you don't know all the names, that's not a super team. I'm not saying they're a super team the same way the Warriors were right now, but give them 3-4 years. Let Chet Holmgren get comfortable in his skin. Let Isaiah Hartenstein become even more of a beast. Let Lou Dort become more like a little Patrick Williams, bulldog-style defender. Give them a few years and watch what happens. And watch how quickly they'll start calling that team a super team. That's what I mean by super teams aren't dead. They're just going to be built differently now. It's not going to be this flurry of top tier guys being signed in free agency. I doubt we'll ever see a team built the way the Heat was. We're going to see 3 of the top 5 players from the same draft go to all decide to go and run with one team. Like, I doubt we'll ever see that again. The days of them being built like that, the way the Boston Big Three was built, the way LeBron tried to build a big three or big three in LA. The days of doing that LeBron style, not blaming him for it, but that style of building super teams of a bunch of free agents in their prime coming together on one, those days are over. I agree. That's dead. Put the cemetery head on it. It's done. But the days of super teams are nowhere near done. They're just going to be drafted. And then they're going to sprinkle in some veteran help. And they're going to be super teams. And you're going to watch these kids grow into 3, 4, 5 different stars on one team. So it's something that I know we're going to see soon. I hope you guys are ready for it. The era of the super team as built in the style of the Miami Heat is dead. But the era of super team is far from over. This has been Double K's Classroom. Next up, we have oh man, I didn't upload it. All right, where can I find you next? Or where can we find you next? Would be the next thing. I just didn't bring the little intro for it. You can find me on Tuesday playing some video games, probably some Madden, maybe some NCAA on Tuesday morning, 10:15. Join me right here on Twitch. And you can also catch replays of this show tonight and the Cheap Pop podcast from earlier on the website, 2KK2network.com. And what else? And you can also catch it here on YouTube. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank Poe Politicking for tapping in the chat room. Bless you all for sitting here and listening to me ramble on about sports for the last 50 minutes. And we shall be back next week with Broadcast Sundays. I believe Saint should be coming up with a stream here in a little bit. And then we got the night shift with Rune Scryer as well at midnight tonight. So be sure to tap in for all the fun right here on the First GenXers Broadcast Network right here on Twitch. And that's it for me, y'all. Stay up. I'm out. Peace.